Okay, in this video, I'm going to outline the steps to create an event that uses the Zoom API form so that the form is actually on WordPress and you're signing people up for events. You're registering people for that event on your website. You're not taking them to the Zoom page or the Eventbrite page or the eCenter page. So here's the steps. First, we're going to want to make sure we've got the meeting ID ready. And we also need to make sure that the Zoom page itself has these registration settings. First and last name. The email is already going to be captured. Then city, zip, and phone. Okay, and then also going to look for a custom question that looks exactly like this. Are you currently an SBDC client? ? And the only capital letters are the A at the beginning of the sentence and the SBDC. And then your answers should be capital Y for yes and capital N for no. Okay, and those are all good, so I'll save that. Those are the registration settings that are required to work with the API in WordPress. So now let's go ahead and create a demo event to show how this works. Okay, quickly new event. Okay, new event. All right, I'm going to skip the details and some other things here just to keep this video shorter. But if you notice, I'll just hover this button right here. And if I click it, now I can see over here in link settings to the far right, there's an option here that says link opens event registration. So let's toggle that. And now, look, I've got a Zoom meeting type option, meeting or webinar. So whether this is a meeting or webinar, I need to make sure I make that selection. This is a meeting. And then I'll paste the ID for that meeting in below. So this is a meeting. You can see I've got my meeting ID here. So I'm going to copy this number sequence and I'll paste it over here. It's important to note, I need to delete the space out of here. So delete that space. And then delete this space here. Okay, now I'm good to go. So I'm gonna click publish. Actually, let's go ahead and give this a date. Okay, let's make that 6/17 and publish. Okay, so I'll view this event and I'm gonna show how this works. It looks like just a button, but since I said this was a Zoom event, if I click this, it pulls the registration form out. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out with some dummy information. Let's put marketing at. Okay, I've got all my information here. I'm going to click submit, and then we should see this number that says 1. When I refresh this page, it should say 2. And that means the API is working. So let's click register. Okay, there's my confirmation. And now let's go over here and refresh the page. And the registration total tally is now up 1 to 2. That means it's working. To recap a few things, the way to get this working, make sure you don't have any spaces in your meeting ID when you paste it in. You're gonna have to delete these spaces. You're also gonna wanna make sure you've got the meeting type correct. If it's a webinar, you need to make sure that this over here says webinar. And you can notice I took out the space from the number here, the meeting ID. You have to remove the space. You have to make sure the meeting type is correct. And to trigger these settings, just click on the button. And you should make sure that this bottom toggle under link settings is all blue. Link opens registration event registration, and then make sure you got the right meeting type and meeting ID. And you should be good to go. Always do testing with a different email than the host of the webinar or the meeting. So I set this meeting up under my Phelps@NorCal SBDC email, so I can't test the registration using that same email. Always use a different email. But yeah, it works great on all the websites I've tested. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email and schedule some time, and I'm happy to try to help you out. Okay, thank you very much.